I never expected much on my birthday. At this point, I was just used to being overlooked. Forgotten, even. My wife, Natalie, wasn't exactly the affectionate type anymore, and her sister Jenna? Let's just say she never missed a chance to remind me I was lucky they put up with me. So when I woke up to the smell of pancakes and coffee on my birthday morning, I was confused. Natalie was in the kitchen humming, wearing makeup before 10 a.m., which was rare. Jenna was sipping coffee at the island, scrolling her phone and smirking like she'd already made fun of me in a group chat. "Morning, birthday boy," Natalie said, flipping a pancake like we still had that kind of marriage. I blinked. "What's all this?" Jenna smiled without looking up. "A little send-off breakfast. You'll need the energy." Send-off? Before I could ask what that meant, Natalie slid a plate in front of me. "We're heading out this afternoon. Just for the weekend. Spa getaway." I froze with a fork halfway to my mouth. "Wait, what?" She made it sound so casual. "Jenna and I booked it months ago. Girls only kind of thing. You're fine here, right? No invite. No plan to include me. Just, we're leaving." "Sure," I said quietly. I didn't want to start a fight. Not on my birthday. Not again. Natalie leaned in, kissed my cheek, and said, "There's leftover lasagna in the fridge. We'll be back Sunday." And just like that, they packed up and left by 2 p.m., laughing and dragging their matching suitcases out the door. I stood by the window watching them pull out of the driveway, trying not to let it sting as much as it did. They didn't even ask what I wanted to do for my birthday. Just assumed I'd stay home. Alone. But that wasn't the part that broke me. That came later. I spent most of that Saturday trying not to think too much. I did what I always did when things got heavy. I cleaned. Vacuumed the downstairs. Changed the air filter. Fixed the dripping faucet in the guest bathroom. Anything to keep my hands busy while my head spun in circles. I kept telling myself it was just a girls' trip. Natalie and Jenna had always been close. Sometimes too close. They had this weird alliance, like they were always in on something I wasn't. But maybe that's just how sisters are, right? I didn't want to be paranoid. I didn't want to be that guy. Still, something kept tugging at me. Like a thread I couldn't ignore. It started when I went to grab my phone charger from the living room and saw Natalie's iPad still sitting on the side table. She'd taken her laptop but must have forgotten the tablet. Normally, I wouldn't even look at it. But this time, I hesitated. I tapped the screen. No password. Just an open window showing her recent tabs. Nothing scandalous at first. Weather. A couple beauty blogs. Then something strange. Top-rated couples resorts in Asheville. Asheville? That's not where they said they were going. They mentioned a spa in upstate New York. I was sure of it. I even remembered Natalie saying, "We'll be freezing our butts off in the Catskills." So why was she looking up romantic resorts in North Carolina? I sat down slowly, the tablet warm in my hands. There were more tabs open. A reservation page. 2 rooms. One with a king-size bed, mountain view, couples massage package. That wasn't the kind of thing you booked for a sister. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but my stomach was already doing backflips. I opened her calendar. Friday to Sunday, wellness weekend. No location. Just a block of time. But then I saw a little note under Sunday night, probably left from a sink, "Drop Tyler at airport, 5:20 p.m. Tyler. Who the hell was Tyler? My heart was pounding so hard I could barely hear the room around me. I closed the iPad, stood up, and paced the living room like the floor might give way beneath me. This wasn't paranoia anymore. This was something else. I grabbed my phone and opened the family tracking app Natalie and I both used, mostly for emergencies. She always had her location shared with me. I never used it, never felt the need to. Until now. I tapped her name. Location. Asheville, North Carolina. Not the Catskills. Not even close. I zoomed in. The pin landed on a resort called Blue Cedar Ridge. I pulled up their website. First thing I saw, romantic weekend packages for 2. I just stood there in the middle of our living room, in the house I paid for, staring at the screen like it was going to apologize to me. She lied. They both did. They didn't just leave me on my birthday. They went on a couples retreat. And I had no idea who the hell they went with. But I was going to find out. I didn't sleep that night. I lay there in the dark with the TV on mute, my eyes fixed on the ceiling fan spinning above me. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw that damn reservation tab, that couples retreat, that name, Tyler, looping in my brain like a broken record. By morning, the coffee was stronger and the silence in the house felt heavier. I sat at the kitchen table, scrolling, searching, digging. I started with the obvious. Tyler. Not exactly a rare name, but I figured if Natalie had something to hide, she wouldn't be stupid enough to use his full name on her calendar. Still, I remembered hearing that name before. A few weeks ago. She'd casually mentioned a Tyler from the Charlotte office during dinner one night, said he was joining their team for a new client project. I hadn't thought twice about it then. But now. I typed his name into LinkedIn. Tyler McCaffrey. Regional consultant. Tall, smug-looking, too many beach photos in his feed for someone who supposedly worked 60-hour weeks. And then I saw it. A picture from a business dinner 3 weeks ago. Natalie was in it. His arm was just a little too close to hers. Her smile was just a little too genuine. I clicked over to Jenna's Instagram, which was public. I hadn't looked at it in months. Her feed was mostly selfies, drinks, outfits. But buried in her story highlights was a picture from a restaurant in Asheville, taken the night before. 4 wine glasses. 2 plates of dessert. The caption, "Much needed escape with the best people." Heart emoji. No tags. But I recognized the glassware. It matched the bar menu from Blue Cedar Ridge. So that was it. They hadn't just ditched me. Natalie had gone with Tyler. Jenna. She was probably with someone too. Another friend from work, maybe. Or maybe this was some kind of double vacation. I didn't know. And honestly, I didn't care about Jenna. But Natalie? She was supposed to be my wife. She walked out of our house on my birthday. Left me with a plate of pancakes and a lie so lazy it didn't even hold up for 24 hours. And I wasn't going to let it slide. Not with screaming. Not with drama. I wasn't going to text her, confront her, or beg her to come home. No. That wasn't who I was anymore. I wanted her to feel what it was like to be left in the dark. To come home thinking everything was normal, only to realize the ground had shifted under her feet. So I made a plan. I called in to work. Took a few days off. Then I called my friend Sam, a lawyer I'd gone to school with. We hadn't talked much in the last couple years, but I told him I needed someone I could trust. Told him I was thinking about separating. Possibly more. Infidelity? He asked. I didn't answer right away. Then I said, yeah. All right, he said. Let's get started. I wasn't just going to catch Natalie in the act. I was going to let her walk straight into the fallout, blind. Sunday afternoon rolled around slower than I expected. I'd done everything I needed to do. Froze our joint accounts, removed her name from the home utilities, backed up every message, document, and calendar screenshot. Sam, my lawyer friend, had already drafted a legal separation letter. It was clean. It was solid. By noon, the locksmith had finished up. Front and back locks, brand new. I changed the garage code too, just in case she tried getting clever. While he worked, I moved fast. Packed Natalie's things into suitcases and left them neatly by the front door. Jenna's too. Every drawer, every shelf, every cabinet they'd taken over, emptied. Everything they had in my house was now waiting for them on the porch like they'd been evicted from a hotel. And that's exactly what I wanted them to feel, like guests who overstayed their welcome. I didn't leave a note. Didn't answer their texts. Just sat on the couch with the lights low, sipping a beer, waiting. The sound of tires on the driveway around 4:30 made my chest tighten, not from fear, just tension. I peeked out the window. Their car rolled in, same one they left in 2 days ago, still dusty from the drive. And then I saw their faces, Natalie in the driver's seat, Jenna in the passenger. Laughing. They were laughing as they pulled in. Like the world hadn't shifted underneath them while they were gone. That changed quick. Natalie stepped out first, reached for the front door without even glancing down, and stopped. Her eyes landed on the suitcases. Neatly stacked. Waiting. She froze. Then tried the doorknob. Nothing. She jiggled it harder. Still locked. Her smile vanished. She pulled out her key and tried again. Still nothing. She banged on the door, then turned around, eyes darting like she was suddenly aware we had neighbors. Jenna climbed out slowly, her phone in her hand, already frowning. I waited a beat. Then I opened the door. I didn't say a word at first. Just looked at them. Focused. Natalie looked me over, like she couldn't decide if she was scared or pissed. "What is this?" she said. "Your things," I answered. She glanced down at the bags like she hadn't even noticed them until now. "The locks don't work." "I know. You changed them." I nodded. "This isn't your home anymore." Jenna stepped forward, arms crossed. "You're being dramatic." "No," I said. "You lied. Both of you." Natalie stepped closer, trying the soft voice she always used when she wanted something. "Look, let's just go inside and talk." "No," I cut her off. "You made your choice when you drove off with Tyler. I didn't say anything then. But you don't get to come back and pretend nothing happened." Her eyes widened like I'd hit her. "You don't understand." "I do," I said. "I understand exactly." She blinked, mouth slightly open like she'd been ready to lie again but didn't have the words anymore. I reached into my jacket and pulled out the envelope Sam gave me. "This is the separation agreement. You'll find instructions inside. Legal contact. Mail forwarding info. Everything's handled." She took it with a shaking hand, still staring at me like she didn't recognize who I was anymore. "Good. That was the point. You can pick up anything else you left behind through your lawyer," I said, then stepped back inside. And just before I closed the door, I said, "Happy belated birthday to me." Then I locked it. Not in anger. Not in revenge. But in peace. I didn't look out the window after I shut the door. I knew they were still out there, Natalie probably pacing the porch, Jenna probably ranting into her phone, but I didn't care. I sat back down on the couch, let the silence wrap around me like a blanket, and took a deep breath. The power wasn't in yelling or slamming doors. The power was in being done. I figured they'd leave eventually, and they did. About 10 minutes later, I heard the car engine fire up, tires backing down the driveway too fast. But I didn't flinch. Didn't even look. Then I spotted it, sitting on the bookshelf behind the couch. A photo frame. I hadn't seen it earlier. Must have missed it while packing up her things. It was a picture of us. Natalie and me, from our wedding. Her in that simple white dress, me in a rented tux that didn't fit quite right. We looked happy. Young. Like we believed in the future. For half a second, I froze. I could have put it in her suitcase. Could have wrapped it up and mailed it to her later. But instead, I walked into the kitchen, flipped open the lid of the trash can, and dropped it in. Glass against metal. Sharp. Final. I didn't even check if the frame broke. I didn't care. That photo wasn't a memory anymore. It was a warning. That love without respect doesn't last. That years of being dismissed, overlooked, betrayed, it adds up. And eventually, even the most patient man decides he's done. I walked back into the living room and sat down, letting that moment settle inside me. Natalie would try to fight it. I knew her. She'd send texts. Try to twist the story. Make herself the victim. And sure enough, by the time I checked my phone an hour later, the messages had already started coming in. "Please just talk to me. You're blowing this out of proportion. It was just a getaway. I didn't mean for it to be like this. You've always been so cold. What did you expect?" I didn't reply to any of them. She wanted me to explain myself. She wanted a reaction. But I wasn't giving her either. Because when someone lies to you that easily, smiles in your face while planning something behind your back, they don't deserve explanations. They deserve consequences. The next few days moved like a slow, steady wind, quiet, but unstoppable. I met with Sam again, this time in person. He slid the final divorce papers across his desk and asked if I wanted to review every line. I said no. I'd already read it twice the night before, sitting at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee and no one yelling at me about the thermostat or forgetting to unload the dishwasher. I knew what I was signing. And I meant every signature. No alimony. No house split, the deed was in my name, and I'd paid every mortgage payment myself. No second chances. Sam raised an eyebrow when he got to the part about me not wanting anything from her. "You're sure?" he asked. I nodded. "I don't want her money. I want my peace." The pen felt good in my hand when I signed the last page. Clean. Sharp. Done. We had the paperwork couriered over to her office. I imagined Natalie opening that envelope in the middle of some conference call, probably still trying to keep up appearances. Maybe she'd cry. Maybe she'd throw something. But me, I didn't feel anything. Not anger. Not sadness. Just stillness. That night, I went through the house one last time. Not to clean, not to organize. Just to walk through it with fresh eyes. Every room felt different now. Lighter. No more passive-aggressive sticky notes on the fridge. No more, accidentally, throwing out my leftovers. No more Jenna blasting music from the guest room like she paid rent. I tossed their spare toothbrushes, deleted them from the Wi-Fi, and unplugged the diffuser Natalie loved but never cleaned. Then I grilled a steak. Just for me. A real one, not the thin, flavorless kind Natalie always bought to stay under some calorie limit. I ate it on the back porch, feet up, beer in hand, music playing low. The sky turned dark blue over the yard, stars blinking into place one by one. At some point, my phone buzzed. It was a text from Trina, our neighbor. "Heard what happened. Proud of you." Then another from Miles. "You free this weekend? Let's grab drinks. You earned it." I smiled, set the phone down, and didn't reply right away. I didn't need validation. Just the quiet. Just the air. Just my own life, finally mine again. No more begging to be seen. No more pretending things were fine. No more standing in the background of my own marriage. They thought I'd never leave. They thought I'd keep fixing, forgiving, folding in on myself until there was nothing left. But they were wrong. I wasn't the same man who stood at the door holding a chore list. I was the man who closed that door and didn't open it again. Thank you for visited my YouTube channel. Your support, likes, and comments truly inspire me to create even more engaging content. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. You're a part of this amazing community, and I'm thrilled to share my stories with you. See you in the next video on YouTube.